So what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed the fourth Sunday of Advent. And we're almost there, but we're not ready yet. Fourth Sunday. And today we acknowledge the many ways that we celebrate Christmas, that we recognize Jesus, the varieties of relationships and expressions that we have for our relationship to Jesus and to God. The many traditions. Today we heard the holly and the ivy. We shared some at-home personal family traditions coming from England and English colonies and the English experience. And although not foreign to many of us, still peculiar and interesting when we realize that we do differ from family to family and place to place. And of the traditions we heard today, one of them we heard was of one family building their nativity scene every year, but always leaving the creche, the manger, empty until Christmas morning. And the little girls rushing in the morning, Christmas morning, to see if the baby Jesus was there yet. And we celebrated with an empty manger. And we acknowledge that we're not there yet. And in fact, as we lit that fourth candle, we acknowledge that no matter what happens, no matter who gathers around our table, whose home we are in, or who comes into ours, or how we gather family, we really aren't there yet until we take a moment and recognize God's presence. That's Christmas. That's what we're really preparing for. It's not about preparing for a family gathering or a moment of goodwill and peace on earth. It actually is preparation to recognize the presence of God in our midst. And that presence is not always a welcome presence, not always a comforting presence. And today Jason preached on Mary. And rather than speak of a Mary who calms and soothes and mothers the world, he spoke of a Mary who mothers the world, who expects more of us and inspires us and drives us. He spoke of a Mary who is human and daring and not welcome at every table, not welcome in the town where she has family. There's no room at the inn, and yet this is where Joseph's family is from. Why was there no room for them? Could it be that a young unwed mother from Nowheresville is not as welcome as we like to pretend? Could it be her ferocity, her desire to see the world turned upside down, her willingness to be a bearer of God, not just in giving birth to Jesus, the Christ child, but in also seeing the world in such a way that it cannot remain the same. Seeing it through God's eyes, with God's will, with God's hope, with God's justice, with God's love. Jason preached powerfully today, and we were invited to engage with Mary in a way that was new for many of us, but in a way that was authentic and powerful and beautiful. Brienne sang her interpretation of the Magnificat, and it was haunting and fulfilling, and it was a heck of a service. It was Advent 4. So close to being ready. Our eyes open, our hearts open, ready to acknowledge that presence of God. After church, just for fun, we collected socks for our friends who need warm socks, clean socks, new socks. Our friends in the Out of the Cold program, our friends who live on and very near the streets of Toronto. So we collected those socks. We collected 540 socks just by inviting people to throw socks at a couple of ministers. And that was a lot of fun. So, however you find yourself today, I hope that you are getting ready. Getting ready to open your heart and open your eyes, open your mind to God's presence. To know that you are not alone. That's what we celebrated today. That we're not alone. We felt it. And we committed ourselves to sharing that as we left. We commit ourselves to sharing that with you. You're not alone. Not today. Certainly not on Christmas. You are in our hearts, and as soon as possible, we hope that you are in our presence, or that we are in yours. However it needs to be that we can be together. Let it be soon. Until we see you. God bless.